How are we looking personnel-wise?
Yeah, listen, we've had a couple of knocks and bruises this week, a couple of doubts for the weekend, and we'll see where we're at tomorrow before we travel, and then we'll go from there.
Daft question, with a very long trip, is it an earlier call on players like that? Whereas if you're at home, you could maybe leave it later.
Yeah, but ultimately we'll have to travel, and we'll see how the next 24 hours come. You know, we got 3 or 4 that are going to be doubts, but we'll see where they are in the morning. If they're available and ready to train, then we'll look at it, and then we'll travel.
I know you've talked about the options available to you and players coming back, kind of medium to longer term ones. Are you in a position to deal with worst case scenario if you lose those 3 or 4?
Well, yeah, it'll just bring us, you know, to a smaller squad. We've obviously got enough players, but it's, you know, ultimately the players that we want are players that have been playing. So that's who we got. But we've got players that will come in, can come in and play for us, which we're happy with. And yeah, listen, again, we'll see where we are on Thursday afternoon. Well, ultimately Friday morning, because we have to leave early and we'll travel and after training. But again, these lads have to train before they can play.
Sometimes when opportunity arises, when somebody's missing, is it a good opportunity for you to look at something different? I'm thinking of Bosun Lawal, for example, playing in midfield and doing such an amazing job.
Yeah.
When people first saw that, they might have gone, well, he's a centre half. Are there other options in the squad where you go, I've got this up my sleeve, but we've not done it yet?
Not really. No, I think everybody's mainly played their positions. But what we do have is we have players that can come into these positions who are capable of performing, and that's the biggest thing I said to the lads. That is that, you know, at the moment for us it's about the performance, and the performance will take care of the result. For these lads coming in, they have to be ready. They have to be up to speed the same as the other lads, and it's important when we're given tactical information or we're training, they have to be tuned in, because ultimately, you know, football could change quickly, and like I say, from one week you could be out it, the next week you could be in, and you know, that's where we're at. But again, we'll have a good look at it, and we'll see where we are, because we're going up against a team in Exeter who have done well at the start of the season and had a little bit of a blip, and now starting to pick back up again.
Can players almost be an inspiration to each other? If player X gets their opportunity and seizes it, somebody's watching from the sidelines thinking, when that's me, I've got to do the same thing. And
that's what I want. I want them to be engrossed in that. When my opportunity comes, you have to take it, and you have to be ready to take it. Because at the time, when I was playing as well, that sometimes you're on the sidelines for 6 weeks, but it's what you've done within that 6 weeks that gets you that opportunity. Sometimes you have to wait in a suspension or injuries, but you have to be training well. You have to be applying yourself properly. And I'm not just going to chuck people in for the sake of chucking them in, because it's not right. You have to train well every single day, and that will affect my squad at the weekend. If you're not training well enough, you won't be in the squad, and you won't be in the team, and that's where we're at. But we've got that togetherness with them, that everybody's chomping at the bit, and they know that if they come off it, then it's going to be difficult to be selected.
I mentioned Lawal there. I think his goal caught the headlines for obvious reasons. I've seen it a few times on social media. How well has he done in there? He's done
excellent. I think he has a lot. He still has to improve, and that's something that we will work with him. But again, his power, his presence in that midfield, the performances that he's brought to us, gives us a base to work with. But again, it's not just him. There's the players that he's played beside. Kilkenny, Mayer's played in there with him. You know, they've done extremely well. CG obviously played in there when he was suspended. So he's a big part of what we're trying to do, but I want him to go back to Celtic in the summer a better player than he left Celtic, and I'm hoping that with what we're trying to do with him in the next few weeks, or what we've done previously, he'll go back there a better player, and then he'll see where he is at in the summer with Celtic.
You mentioned Carl Johnson there as well. When we get a team sheet on a Fleetwood match day and he's on it, it's always a bit of a game of, well, he can play there, he can play there, he can play. How valuable is that?
It's massive, and that's what, when you come into a football club, you always have, because I've been watching games and I've been around it, it's until you actually get in the building you realise the character and the person. A total professional, honest guy, trains every day how you want to do it, and ultimately I left him. I never picked him for the first couple of games, but he seized his opportunity by a willingness for me to really, we played Waterford in a friendly on a Tuesday night, and he asked me, I've not played for 3 weeks, I need to play 45 minutes, can I play? Played really well, took him off, he played the next game. That's the attitude I needed, and that's why he's been a mainstay in the team so far in the last few weeks, because his performance have managed to do that.
Is that a really good example of, doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter how much experience you've got, if you've got the right attitude, if you apply yourself, you are going to get in the team?
Absolutely, and it doesn't matter who you are, the appetite to really take care of being a professional footballer is something that I look at, and we look at every day. How your body language is, how you carry yourself, how you train is a big decision on how we pick a team. So again, we're in a position where these lads, 22, 23 players, are really at it at the moment. Everybody wants an opportunity, everybody wants to play, but we can only pick 11 players. It's important that the lads that are on the side are engaged in what we're trying to do, still focused on that. When they get their opportunity, they come off the bench, they've got to make an impact on it, and they've got to come and show us that, wow, he come on, he changed the game, or he done something different, and that's part and parcel of being the manager.
Just as far as the trip you've got this weekend, when you first arrived and we sat and had a long conversation, you said that some of the stuff you'll be doing won't be about tactics, won't be about the pitch, it'll be about having a cup of tea with a player, sitting on a coach with them, spending time with them.
Yeah.
A trip of this length and this duration that's going to take you the whole weekend, from the minute you get on that bus, is the preparation starting, even if the players are relaxing and chilling out?
No, the preparation's done. We've done our main tactical work that we'll do today, and we'll go over it again tomorrow, but we'll get on the bus and we'll get round the lads, the staff go and they speak to the players and they engage, but ultimately it's about how they are as people as well, and that's the time you get to spend with them. But I let the players be the players, and they have their own part of the bus and they do their own thing. But some of the staff might have a wander up and speak and see how they are, see how they're feeling, and that's why you get good coaches in there to really get the feeling from them, because they might open up a little bit more to the coaches than they are going to the manager. So the staff will relay things back to me, and then if we have to do that, we'll do it. But we'll go there, we'll go and we'll try and make it as enjoyable a journey as we can. It's a long way. There's no getting around it. So we have to get on the bus, we have to go and go there. But what we'll be doing is we'll be prepared and we'll be ready, and we'll be ready to go and get 3 points.
Do you think spending time together, because obviously you made changes in January as well, can only stand them in good stead? Yeah,
and listen, we spend a lot of time in terms of in the training ground together, and that, but that comes with, let's say, I think team spirit comes by winning. If you win games, it helps. So we have to get back to winning games. We've been unlucky in terms of moments or periods or situations in games that have gone against us, but now we have to really go and focus on winning football matches, and that starts at Exeter on Saturday, and I look forward to that challenge against another Scottish manager who, for me, he's done really well there, and had a tough period. The club stood by him, and now he's come out the other side, and they're playing some good stuff.
Yeah, Gary Cwell, former international teammate, of course. You'll have had some battles against him for various clubs over the years. What are your memories of him as a player and his reflections on him as a manager?
I think, listen, as a player, Gary was always a very good footballer, and he could see that in his Exeter team in terms of how they want to play and how they build up and rolling, people out and in, and fullbacks going in the middle of the pitch. So he's trying to do what everybody does, but again, you have to understand what your group is. He's had time to work with his group. We've been in the door probably 2 months now, so it's difficult in terms of what we really want to get into them. But at the moment, listen, my lads have been magnificent for me. They've given me everything on a daily basis. Every Saturday we've been in probably every game. But what we have to try and do is keep putting the performance in. If we get the right performance, the results will come.
Here's $1 million question. Why do you think we see so many Scottish managers?
The love of the game. I think it's just the love that we have. We're engrossed in it. We enjoy the pressure of the job. But that'd be a good question for the other Scottish managers. But for me, it's just a love and a passion for the game that, this gave me a wonderful life as a player, and now it's given me a great opportunity as a coach and as a head coach of Fleetwood, that this is a journey and a pathway that, you know, you work hard for, you always envisage that, but ultimately when you're starting out, you need the right club to give you the opportunity, and I'm fortunate enough I've been given the opportunity at this club that's definitely going in the right direction.
Do you think it's something within the Scottish setup? There were lots of inspirations for you, maybe?
Of course there is, yeah. There's people that, you know, Scottish managers over the years that have been very successful, but what I do think is that it's the hard work and the dedication that they put in it. Every manager's different in how they approach the management, but again, there has been over the years a lot of successful Scottish managers, you know, and hopefully there's many more to come.
How much can that run that Exeter went on, 20 points from 11 games, I think it was, be an inspiration? Because they've shot up that table and got themselves a decent distance away when it looked at one stage like they were in big trouble.
Well, if we can do that, then that will probably be good enough for us to stay in League One. So we have to try and produce a run of results in the next few weeks where we can be on the positive end of it and close that gap. I said to the boys today that I don't see there's much in the league in terms of the teams. There's obviously the individual quality in each team that they have, but you know, I look at my team and I think on their day they're capable of beating anybody in the league, and that's a real positive for me in terms of where we're going. You know, we're not in a mindset where we feel we're low in confidence. We're high in confidence. We're playing well. It's just if we can stop the small mistakes that we've made in terms of, you know, decision making, or, you know, lapse in terms of our shape or things like that's costing us in the last game, then we'll be okay, because we have firepower on that top end of the pitch that can score goals.
Does it help that in very recent memory you had that run where you were doing those things and you weren't having those individual errors and you were winning games? Yeah,
it does. It's not so long ago that we'd won back-to-back games. We'd won away at Bristol, we'd won at home at Port Vale. So, you know, that's what we're going to have to do in the next few weeks. We're going to have to string a few results together and keep saying it's a great challenge. It's, you know, if we fear it, you know, that's, you know, what's the point of being in management? We're here to hit the challenge on the head, and we look forward to what the next few weeks bring for us. But ultimately on a Saturday it's about winning, and we want to try and get a team on the pitch that's going to give us that best opportunity.
And clearly you've got to focus in on the next game and the next opponent, but how big are these 3-game weeks, these Saturday, Tuesday weeks?
Yeah, because you can claw the gap back, and if, let's say we look to go to Exeter and get 3 points, and then we'll focus on the next one. But, you know, there is an opportunity in the next, you know, couple of weeks in terms of the games to claw the points back, and yeah, I look forward to doing that in the next few games with tough challenges. Obviously, looking ahead to Port Vale, they've obviously got a new manager coming in as well, so it's a lot of different challenges coming up from now to the end of the season, and we have to be ready for that, and we'll take it on with full steam ahead.